on in. What's up? What's up? What's up? We're gonna let a few people get on in the chat. Let's go. Let's do this. We feeling real nice. You know what I'm saying? Woo! Come on in. Come on in. All right. So what's up, everybody? I'm Sean Marcus, and this is Speak Up. And tonight, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to have a little seriousness, but we're going to have some education. And hold on, let me turn this stuff down a little bit. All right. Hopefully I'm not too loud. And don't let me get too loud, guys. So I want you guys to kind of let me know how I'm doing here as far as my volume, if everything is cool. All right, what's up, main course divas? I see you. So tonight is a special night. When I first built Speak Up, one of the main things that I wanted to do was one of the main reasons was about fatherhood, was about building up the community. And what was strange to me was the separation of how our men and women had started interacting. It started to seem like it was getting less respect, more betrayal, hurt feelings, just a whole lot of disrespect for one another. Women were talking about men from day one, but then men start talking about women. And when you start doing that kind of thing, then you have a division. And we've been divided for a long, long, long time. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about a few issues that are in our community, that are in our hearts, and that have been actually bringing down our community and some of the things that we want to build back up. So with Speak Up, we're going to be talking to 4 gentlemen tonight. Speakers, educated brother, that's all about building a community, building marriages, and getting back to the basics of family. Actually, I'm glad because I don't have to do much talking, but I really do appreciate you guys for being here. And if you can, go ahead and share this on your home screens so other people can see it. We really, truly want to build Speak Up to something where we can come together and make differences and changes. We don't want to talk and bicker and debate about a whole lot of mess. We really don't want to do that. We really want to talk about the issues and find the solutions for them. And that's what we're trying to do. So if y'all down with me on that, go ahead and share this content. Go ahead and join my YouTube page so we can get that built up. But right now, I want to bring in some brothers that's going to help make a difference. And I really do appreciate them for asking me to host their event tonight to talk about things. And here we go.
They can't see you. You can see it.
Brother Sean, what's happening?
Hey guys, hey, we missing one guy, right? Where my man?
He's on his way.
What's up, brother?
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
All right, no problem. So guys, what I want to do is, first of all, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you, brothers. Black men standing strong, standing up and doing the things that we need to do. And I've been needing this, guys. I've been really needing brothers to join on, and let's get some things started. Then I met Tim, and Tim been on me. Hey man, hey, when can I come on the show, man? Talk, man, talk. Come on, man. So hey, thank you, Tim. Honestly, brother, because I'll be all over the place, man. And I need a lot of help. For those who are out there listening who want to help, I need a lot of help. But Tim, thank you so much. You brought in Vert, you brought in Mark, and we're gonna talk about a few things. So what I'm gonna do is solo you guys individually and let you kind of talk about what's going on. So Mark, I'm gonna start with you. You hold on, brother. Tell us about yourself and what's up with you, brother Mark.
I am Mark Young. I'm from Elmira, New York. I've been a little bit of everything, but I think the main thing I've been youth executive director, program director, advocate for young people, both high school dropouts and folks who were just those folks that got kicked to the curb.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the main thing for me is what I'm talking to Tim about and Bert about all the time is that how we can engage these young people so that they can get on track to do what's right. And part of that is it's just modeling for them. They're showing them different things, and once they get it, they got it. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing of it is, I think with them is that they feel like they should be able to call you when they need to talk to you, and that's something I pride myself on is being available for them. It doesn't matter what it is or what they've done. It's just
So-
being just to listen. It's not sometimes it's not even offering advice. It's just to listen and let them go and tell you what they're going through.
Exactly. And that's what's up, man. I mean, if we all pay more attention, we can actually understand each other a lot better. So, Mark, thank you for that. We're going to go on to my next man. We're going to go to Mr. Chin. What's up, brother?
Hey, Sean, what's happening, man? Look, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate all that you do. I really, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of strategic, as time is our most valuable asset in the type of men, my circle. I think we have to be. Everybody's not on the same page, and so I thank you for having a listening ear and being willing to share your gift and help us get this message out. Of course, my name is Tim Stewart, aka Talk Man Talk, Speak to Inspire. And as Talk Man Talk, I speak to inspire, motivate, and educate people from every walk, focusing on 12 spiritual principles to inner peace and freedom from active addictions. That's what I do. That is who I am. They asked Michael Jackson one time, they said, Michael, do you love music? Michael said, I am music. I am Talk Man Talk, right? That's what I do. That's who I am. And I have such a passion for what I do because a lack of knowledge is what allowed me to find myself homeless, hopeless, and penniless. I didn't have the right knowledge. There were some people in my life that loved me, wanted to see me do well, but guess what? They could only give me what they had. And in a lot of cases, what they gave me didn't work for the world that we live in today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why my focus is principles, because apple seeds produce apple trees for Moses the same way they will for us today. Principles don't change. Philosophies and opinions, they come and go. But if we can make decisions in our life based on principles, then we can expect. When you plant an apple seed and it sprouts, what kind of tree do you expect?
Expect apple.
An apple tree. That is correct. Period. Right? And nobody else can get anything different. So I think that getting back to the basics and understanding that marriage or manhood, marriage and family, those institutions are pure. They are great. It's the individuals that come into these institutions that are infected that infect those institutions.
That's
so
right.
We got to get back to, as the man, the manhood, the marriage, and then the family. We got it.
And that's it. I mean, brother, look, you were already getting introduced, and I had to bring in verse so he could get in because you was getting ready to talk. Hey, y'all, these guys have already told me I'm going to have to stop them because all of these guys are speakers. So, I'm going to be doing a little bit of this, But, hey, Vert, it's your shot, man. What's going on with you, brother?
What's up, brothers? You moving and grooving, you grinding, shining with none other than the Love Doctors. We on the ones and twos. We on the wheels of steel, and we coming at you live and in living color. Want to thank you, Sean, for Speak Up. Sean, my brother Sean, Timothy, Mark, G, Will, and myself. My wife, she's on the side here. So it's just an honor and a privilege. This is my second and last time being married. I went 0 for 2, but now I'm 1 and 2 forever, ever. So this is my final. My wife and I, both of us have been married 2 times. Her desire was to be married 1 time. My desire was to be married 1 time, and that's it. So we both have great family values. We both grew up, have a lot of similarities in the way we grew up. And my desire was one wife, be married one time and one family. It didn't work like that. I got married the first time, 24 years, young, got married for about 13 years, started a church, went through a divorce, told the Lord I wasn't going to preach again because the Lord told me that I call you to family. I give you a family ministry. So I was like, man, I can't do this no more. So I wasn't going to preach anymore, not to people anyway. And so I got married again, moved to Atlanta, got married again, was married 7 years, got started a church again, the same thing, got a divorce. And so I'm like, well, this love thing, maybe this thing is just not working out, So I'm here. I'm married to an awesome woman. We've been married. We was talking today, 6 months.
Hey, go ahead, sure, man.
Oh, they want to see you.
Let's see the queen.
Yeah,
Hey, queen.
That's it right there.
Let's see the sunflower, y'all. See, that's my Empress sunflower, y'all. And
Hey, she knows she wanted to come on the screen. I know you was over there looking all good. See, I knew you wanted to come on. It's okay.
I had to show up for my king.
Amen.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Our goal, we're doing this year, our Love is Sacred Tour 2023. And we just letting the world know that marriage is real, that marriage between two individuals can exist, between a man and a woman can exist. And so we're here to talk to marriages, letting people know that you can be single, courting, marriage, divorce, single, courting, and remarried. And, it's like this. I'll be short with this. I was thinking about this the other day, about last week. Hey, what was his name? I can't think of the home run king. What made him great? Guess what? Hank Aaron, he kept swinging the bat. What's his name? The White brothers great.
Mark McGwire.
The other guy way back in the day. What's the guy name?
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth. Well, he struck out more times than anybody. But guess what? He still kept swinging the bat. So that's what made him great. So I would just like to just share with people out there, no matter how many times you went through a bad relationship, you got to keep swinging the bat, man. You can't give up because don't blame yourself. It could have been the other person you was with. It probably wasn't you. It could have been the other person. So don't just give up on love. Like Timothy said, marriage is a perfect institution. We are imperfect. So I will be talking about it tonight. We glad to be on tonight.
Amen.
I won't steal the show. I'm just, here for support.
You want to say something, young lady? You want to say something?
She said you want to say something?
Oh, okay. Well, he had never seen me wear the sunflower. He actually picked this out for me last year. So this is the first time I wanted to show up for him. And this is just a message to say we are, men have, the words are powerful. Words are very powerful. The language that we have, the communication that we have, what he called me, what I called him, it matters, And he called me the sunflower, his Empress sunflower. So I wanted to show up for him as that, not just for this, but every day.
Well, that's goosebumps. I
love that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's what's up, Bert.
All right.
All right, Mohawk.
And we're gonna keep that going right there. You can share the screen if you like, however you want to do it, Vert. Because I know y'all a tag team and y'all work together. So hey, you're welcome to the, to the brothers meeting. We all doing the same work. And in the end of the day, to be honest, it really is refreshing to see this.
Absolutely.
To see someone that's had not one marriage, but two marriages and still working at it because you believe in what it is and the sanctity of it, right? So that's really good. And I want to throw some shout outs, because when people come in, so for Sean McClendon, hey, what's up, young lady? How you doing? We see you. All right. We got, now, if you're on my Speak Up page, I can't see your name, so because it's a private page. So if you want, if you're on Speak Up watching, just put your name in there. Hey, you guys throw some comments out there. I will kind of flow back and forth with them. I want to make sure the guys get a chance to speak, but we definitely want to address any issues and questions that you may have as well. So we want to thank you for coming on out. Let's see. Evelyn Donaldson, how you doing? We appreciate you. All right, young lady. Now, let me see. Somebody saying black love.
All right.
Hey, see, you're already inspiring. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
now the one thing I want to ask, and we'll start this off. Tim, when you
Yes,
say
sir.
manhood, what do you mean? What is manhood? What are you referring to? In what context are you saying it? What manhood? Break it down.
Okay. So the species, the species called mankind, comes in two models. That's the male model and the female model. Both of these models were created for specific reason, purpose, if you will. And this male model was created, and I don't want to offend anyone, but I do use uh, biblical scriptures. It's not that I'm endorsing any particular religion or anything like that, but I do use that book as a manual. And so
Amen.
when we look at it from a biblical perspective, the male model was created first. Now, when you look at a building, the foundation is created first. It is the most important part of that building because it supports the whole building. So the purpose of the male model was the foundation, that everything else could be built upon that male model. Now, that male has to transition into manhood, and that transition is called maturity.
Okay.
That maturity has to be taught. It has nothing to do with age, connections, material possessions. It has to do with maturity and learning. See, we were all created for a purpose, packed with potential to function by principles. So when we understand our role as a leader, because we were created to lead, right? Then our mentality will match our ability, and then we can function as men and create happy, healthy, and successful marriages and families. It all starts with this manhood.
With the manhood, that's the beginning. The manhood, then the marriage, then the family. From the marriage joins the family are created. Go ahead.
One
I'm
more
listening.
thing, Sean,
Sure.
and I like to keep things very practical. If Because we have a lot of information, we live in the information age, and there's a lot of philosophies and opinions that come from hurt people. Like Vert was saying, don't stop. Get some new information. That will bring the transformation, right? If you take a bullet, and fire it. If it's 5 inches off to the left, when you fire it, by the time it hits the target, it's 5 feet off. We got to go back to the basics. What is this deal, man? So I'm gonna end with this. There's 5 things that God qualified this man, because divorce was not the issue. It was the material that went into the marriage that created the divorce, right? The divorce was a sign that there's another problem. So it's the ingredients that went into the marriage that caused the marriage to fail. So the man needs to know who he is, understand his purpose, work, can cultivate, can protect,
Come on, brother.
and can follow instructions. It is not good for that man to be alone.
Amen.
Right.
Awesome.
Now let's ask this. Okay, so there are a lot of definitions for man, right? And now I go a little differently. I go with some relationship things and a lot of times some controversy things. But one of the things that's always said is a real man this, a real man is that, right? There's a definition for man, period. There's a million definitions from women and other people saying what a real man is. To me, a real man is whatever you need from a man to be complete for you to represent you or be as far as nobody can want all the same things from every man, right? So you have to have a definition that what makes this woman happy with this particular man, what makes you happy, what is enough for you. Don't look at what a man is to this lady or that lady. Look at what a man would be to you and stop comparing yourself and trying to be what everybody else man is.
That's good, Sean.
We always competing and trying to be what everybody else is. Don't nobody have it right, you know? Don't nobody have it right. We're all a work in progress. But I just don't like to hear what a real man is so many times when none of it is true. A real man is whatever it is to make you complete as a woman. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not going to talk tonight, right? So let's go down to my man. Let's go to Mark here. Let's see what's going on with you, Mark. I mean, oh, I'm sorry. I'm asking questions. So let's do this. Why are we?
Sean,
yes, sir.
Sean, I just wanted to let you know. I see William said he's here. He said, "Bro, I'm here, brothers," in the comment section. So he's here.
I see him down here, but there's no picture. See?
Yeah, I see him too.
Okay.
I see. Yeah.
But if he wants to, can he speak? Tell him to take his mic off. But in the meantime, what we're gonna do is we'll come back. But he is here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said his comments here.
Oh, he's got okay. Let's see what's going on. All right. Man, can you speak on accountability in a relationship? All right. I tell you what, because I definitely wanted to. I see. Hold on. We're going to get to that question. I'm gonna hold on. Good evening. Good evening, okay, I got you. Hey, does somebody want to handle that before me? Men, can you talk on accountability in a relationship?
Go ahead, Mark. Mark, you're on mute.
Mark, you on mute?
Mark.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Bert, go ahead. Let's see if you can.
Okay. Me, can you speak on?
I'll get back to you. Go ahead, Bert.
Okay, accountability in relationship is everything. You know, there's a thing that men say that a man is P-whoop. Y'all know the P-U-S-S-Y word, but I'm not going to say it. But, you know, but I would just say this. That's a great question. First of all, whoever said that, that's an excellent question. One of the things that I do with my wife is, you know, I call her. We text each other. When we leave, we go out. We have to take care of business. We make sure we call. And so that's not being a weak man or anything like that, because we make sure we're accountable to each other. So if something happens, she'll know. If I'm on the road, I get broken down or something, and vice versa. She, you know, and then like I'm coming home in the afternoon, she want me to stop by, you know, to the store and get something. But accountability, I make sure when I'm away, not in my wife's, like I'm honoring her before the world. I honor my wife the same way and vice versa. When I'm not in her presence, when I'm around other women or, you know, taking care of business or whatever, I always honor her. I always make sure that I'm not sending out signals to other women or what have you. I'm honoring her in that way to make sure I let my wife know in my presence or not in her presence that I honor her and I reverence her and I respect the boundaries in the relationship that we have. If it's somebody I meet in the business world, you know, we deal with business and stuff. If it's somebody I meet out there, I tell my wife about it. We conversate. She does the same thing. And so talk about that. So we make sure, one of the things we talked about a lot in our courting, as well as while we're married, we talked about making sure we set boundaries early in our relationship, early and often in our relationships. So boundaries is basically another mean and a tool to say, Tondra, I respect you. and Levert, I respect you. So boundaries is huge in a relationship.
Okay. And that's with accountability. And that's always goes for both parties. You know, it's always like a lot of things are blamed on one. And it's accountability for all. A lot of times, especially when you have been divorced and you're looking again,
Right.
then you have to find the things that were wrong with you. See,
Right. And that,
not always. Go ahead, bro. You got something real quick?
I'm glad you brought that point up, because I thought about that as we came on, and when I was making my comment earlier. One of the things I want to share this to the world. I said I've been married and divorced 2 times. So when I met Tanja, wasn't looking for anybody. She was in her own world. She was in her own garden. She was doing her own thing. I was going through a divorce when I met her on Juneteenth. But when I met her and her daughter. I took pictures of them. I thought they were sisters instead of mothers and daughter. I gave her a card. That was it. I called her like several months later when I came back from Florida. When I know my divorce was final, then I contacted her. And so basically, I began to deal with myself. I went through the counseling, several counseling with different counselors. I went through the counsel. I got books. We got a great library. My wife and I got great libraries where we work on ourselves, self-assessment, as well as work on each other. So it's a lot of things I did as a man, because I knew I've been married twice. And I knew that there was a lot of things. Everything was in my exes. A lot of things had to do with myself. So, me dealing with myself, asking, the father the questions, getting mentors, talking to other couples, just making sure I'm going to, because this, I hate to say this. I love Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson said, this is it. And we know Michael Jackson is with us. But this is it with me, and this is it with Tanja. So I'm gonna do everything. I put something on Facebook called PhD, and I'm gonna just read this out to the ones that are on. You can catch this. But husbands, your wife is your life's research project. She is your understudy. We should spend a lifetime learning her. Our goal is to obtain a PhD, which means protecting, honoring, and devotion to our spouses. So, the scripture says, husband, dwell with your wives, live with according to knowledge. So we must know them, know what they like, know what they don't like. We must know them. So she's my lifelong PhD project. So when I leave the world, I should have a PhD in knowing her, really knowing what is her, what is her shoe size, what are her, things that the average person would know. I should know, little things like that. So I should dwell with her according to knowledge. And one of the things I put myself in a situation, to the men out there, where I humbled myself, not before I got married to her, but even before I got married to her, even while I'm married, to put myself around other married men who are way stronger than me, got greater marriages than I. Not that I'm comparing my marriage, and I would just like to say, more seasoned men who are more seasoned than I, who can bring alignment and balance to my relationship, and so I think that is very important, and that's vital too. I want to have longevity and sustainability in my relationship. I want to be able to, this relationship, and she just adds so much, things that I desired that I didn't even talk to the father about, but it was automatic through her. And when she came to me, she said, I just want to help you. She put herself secondly. She said, I want whatever vision you got. I want to help you obtain those visions, the purpose. I want to help walk beside you too. You need somebody. She tell me this all the time. You needed somebody to help you complete the vision and the mission, and stuff. Absolutely. So yeah.
You got any sisters?
I don't.
All right. Now we got some comments in here, and you all, I'm gonna get to your comments. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry, man. Were you gonna say something?
Well, no, I was just about to say, our very first date, the verse, we were sitting at at the table having dinner, and when he was talking about his, he was just speaking about his vision or whatever, he shared that with me. And to me, that meant so much, especially our first date. I just felt like he felt safe, felt safe to share that with me. And it was spiritual too, because I just felt God, I felt the presence of God,
Wow.
with me being a helpmate in a sense. Even though it was our first date, I just saw something so far ahead that, as his helpmate, and just us even growing together. And we had so many similarities, so many things in common that I just know it was like God's timing.
And I think, Sean, the other thing before you go to the comments, one of the things that Tanja and I talk about, well, I'm telling you, I think one of the things that sealed the deal with me while we were courting and once I married her and while we married now is her love language, learning her love language. And she's like, you got it, you nailed it. Really, really loving her love language. And I would just share this with the ones who are thinking about getting married and courting or what have you. When the two become one, it's a process. So in the process, sometimes you're gonna see things in the person you're courting, and I'm not talking about her because she can talk about me. My wife saw some things. There were some things I had to weed out in my personal, not in our marriage or garden, but in my personal garden, because the two becoming one is a process. So there were some things in my even going through the counseling that had to be weeded out coming into my marriage. So we just want to let people know that y'all see us on Facebook and stuff like that. We do a lot of love stuff, but we want to let people know that it ain't perfect, and we don't want it to be perfect. We ain't trying to show people a perfect picture. Right. But the two becoming one once the marriage is consummated. We think that once it's consummated is one, on one fact it is, but becoming one is a process. It's a process. So you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to see different things in you. And the communication is the things, and the love is what the things, the two people come together and you communicate about it. What do you say about communication all the time?
Always communicate to understand.
Communicate to what?
To understand.
She always say communicate, not just to communicate, because a lot of people communicate, but she say, I want to be in a relationship where we communicate to understand. So
that makes a huge difference. That's huge. That is.
We're communicating, but we're hearing the other person, but we're just waiting to speak, have our turn to speak. So just really absorbing what the person is saying.
Hey, hold on. We're just going to put y'all on the screen for about 15 more minutes.
Okay.
No, but listen up. Very good verdict. Young lady, what's your name?
Tundra.
My name
Tundra?
Tundra.
Tundra? Okay. Great message. Great message. We're going to check out some of these. Mark, you about ready?
Mark, can we hear you? Mark. I don't know. Something must be going on with his audio, Sean. But I'll take one of those questions.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Here we go. We're going to share this one. Go ahead and talk, man.
Do you believe it's a difference?
Yeah, there we go.
And dating and courting. Well, when I look at the manual, right, and I go back to the biblical instructions in that manual, there's no instructions on dating, right? And what I have learned and I've discovered is that when a person, like you and I, Sean, we discovered our purpose. That purpose created a vision. That vision gave us a conviction. We're passionate about what we have. Right. We don't have the time, right, to play games. Dating is really, I'm waiting to find somebody that's really the right fit for me.
Gotcha,
really.
No,
right. But mature men and women, they do just like what Levert and Tundra said. They connected, they had a conversation, and they made a decision, right? Period. And so is there a difference between dating and courting? I think the courtship never ends,
Mhm.
regardless.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
starts to day one and it never
Wow.
stops. You know,
Mhm.
dating. You know
Mhm.
what? I don't even know what that means today.
Yeah.
That's changed, right? It's
Yeah.
changed from when I came along. So
Well,
when we
well, yeah. Well, dating, and you went right down the line with it. Dating is more simple. Dating is getting to know, getting to wonder if, getting to find out if we're going to go to the courting level. Now, when we were young, we were going by people's house, knocking on the door, sit on the porch all night, hold hands. I mean, you know what was up? That was, I mean, dude, I used to walk 5 or 6 miles to the girl's house,
Mhm.
But anyway, so the thing about it is, but courting to me is when you're a little more serious, when you really have a purpose in your dating, in your togetherness. Dating is kind of seeing what's out there. Kind of, I'm a work it. I'm a see. We checking each other out. Courting is when you say, you know what, I'm really into you. I want to go on. I want to go on more dates. I want to get more serious. I want to be exclusive. That's when you start courting. Courting leads to marriage. Dating leads to courage. I mean, courting. So dating is the beginning after you meet. Courting is the serious action, I think. So to that person, um, I hope that was,
Yeah,
helpful.
I think Sean that that you both of y'all you explained it. I think when you're dating and stuff, and then now we have date night. We do have date night every week, my wife and I. But it's like when you first meeting somebody, it's like in boxing. The first 1 or 2 rounds, you feeling each other. You may not even throw a punch the first round. It's like filling out. But once you get in that third, second, third, fourth round or whatever like that, then it's you get into the really get to the nitty gritty. And I think like with Tandra, going back to what Timothy said too, I mean, Tandra and I, we actually, she said, I wasn't looking for nobody. I wasn't trying to holler at I ain't trying to let no brother holler at me. Not in that sense. I was enjoying my own life. I was enjoying my daughter, my life with my daughter and everything like that. So when I came into her life, when we began to talk, she said, this is it for me. I know what I want and I know what I don't want. So I think in the early time,
Especially at this age.
at our age, we kind of like, we know what we want, and she already know if I'm one of them kind of brothers that gonna kind of come in and slide through the back door, it's already a done deal, it's already a wrap. She's not gonna even give me no play. So when I came to her, I told her I was open and I was transparent. We have a very open and transparent relationship, and we just knew what each other want. So if I came coming like half stepping and not okay in our even in our dating phase, she already knew, okay, if you ain't coming for the long haul, time up, because I already know what I want. And I was in the same boat, even though I know I had came out of a relationship. We had so many things that we communicate and so many things that we had in common, even in the early part of our relationship. We just talked on the phone for hours, and so many things that we we had in common. It's like I knew her all my life, and like she kind of like knew me all my life, all her life as well. So it kind of lost jail.
when I get asked that question, and I ask people, go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
No, I want to. William is saying some things. I really wish he can get on the show, but I want to say a few things from him because he's supposed to be on the show.
Yeah.
William, at first he said, it says, okay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Given every opportunity to do our purpose, we were created by God. Okay. And I'm not giving it justice because it's from him. I don't know how we can get him in here. I don't know what's going on, Will. Hey, Will, take yourself out and try to come back in. Maybe that'll work, because I do want you to be a part of the show. And I see he has a lot of powerful things to say, but I can't deliver it like I'm backstage, Doc. Okay, come on to the front stage, brother. And I wanted to get that in because I didn't want it to look like we were ignoring them, because the chats are really lighting up over here. And I wanted to make sure that we get him on here without overlooking them. Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
So I ask people, what's the most important thing in your decision for a potential mate? And I'll hear people say trust, and I'll hear people say communication, and I say those are important. But Vert and Tundra, you said the most important thing, and it's the most natural thing. See, a lot of these philosophies are so deep, right, that people are presenting out there. The more I learn, the simpler life gets, relationships get.
Right.
And I asked them, what type of animal do horses run best with?
Wow.
Horses. Horses run best with horses. Dogs bark best with dogs, and cats meow best with cats. Commonalities is the most important thing.
That's right, brother.
And it's not so much that this person is a bad person or I'm a bad person. We just might not be the right fit. And that's fine. So that's what we have to discover. Are we the right fit? Do we have those commonalities?
You're right. That is a great point.
Hold on, Mark. Wait, I'm sorry. Mark, can you hear me, Mark? Mark, yeah. Go out and come back in, Mark. Go out and come back in. Look at the chat. He can't hear me.
Oh, he did.
Okay, good. Oh, there's William.
There he is. Man,
William,
can you hear me? That's
yes,
the
question. We're gonna go 1 more hour. Let's go.
Can I? I've been hearing it, but can I get just a minute or two?
Hey, look, we're gonna give him hey, William, you got the solo, baby. Let's go.
Okay, what I wanted to say was, you know, I married the love of my life that I met when I was 16, and we are both about to turn 60. We've been married for going on 3 years, man, and I have learned, and we both, she's been married before, and I have too. Her husband passed away. I got the big D to get out of mine. But this is the thing that I've definitely learned without a question of a doubt. I understand what I'm created for. And as a man on my journey in life, I had to learn and understand. They say it's 2 days that are very important. The day you're born and the day you figure out why you were born. You know, and for me, you know, my purpose is to be here to love on my people, to practice the principles that God has shown me in my life. So one thing I tell people when they're about to get married, I mentor a lot of guys that have been over the years. And I tell them this: never, ever get married to someone that you all don't agree what the definition is. There are many different definitions of what love is. But if you don't agree on it and commit to standing with that person for the rest of your life, that's the sign on how you can tell if you should get married or not. These things should be practiced before you put it into action in an actual marriage. That's the time to prove it and not just talk about it, but to prove what you'll do. But once you make that decision, you should be in total agreement on what your definition of love is. Because I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to say this part and I'll be done. I'm going to write that book. Tim wrote his book. I'm going to write mine too. And the name of my book is, and pardon me for the one word in here that I got to say, love is not a damn Cadillac.
All right.
It's a Geo Metro.
Wow.
All right.
That's good. That's good.
Know, I want to go back to Sean's first initial question about what is manhood, because, you know, and we hear this, I heard this very vividly with Bert and Tundra, is that, remember, individuals get into relationships. Those individuals create marriages. Those marriages create families, and those families create communities. So it all goes back to the individual, right? Yeah. And to what Will said, discovering why. Man, let me tell you something. When a person discovers why they are here, you can't stop them. They don't have time for foolishness. That maturity, they don't have time for the game. I'm not playing her and trying to see her. We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You look at the workshop. Look at Sean's. Look at this template that Sean got us on right here. You think he could be playing games and all of this and create this? He don't have enough hours in a day.
Yeah. Amen.
Right.
Shameless plug. I appreciate that. All right. Hey guys, now listen. So now we got some other comments, but I want to show this. Oh, actually, Mark, can you hear me? Mark.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
All right, Mark. I'm sorry, man. Have you wanted to
I'm back.
say anything
All right. I know
since
I
we've
missed some good
started?
stuff.
Say that again.
Kind of going in and out, I think.
We can't hear you, Mark.
Oh, Mark, we go.
We trying to.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do anything.
He may have. When he can't.
Hold on. Mark, unmute your mic. You got your mic muted.
Mm-hmm.
Let me send him a text.
If he pull up on the page, he can see where he need to cut it on and off at. Just need to push up on.
Okay. What was I getting ready to say? Oh, but check this out. Okay, so when it comes to family and when it comes to things like that, so my kids actually I think I heard my kids actually did something on their own. I didn't have anything to do with it on fatherhood. So I'm gonna show a clip from it to show you sometimes the benefits of being a father from the kids or the young person's perspective.
Words as his son and give some experience and encouragement towards his daughter.
This is Speak Up with Sean Marcus.
My dad obviously he has Speak Up, and that's about community, uplift community. But he talks a lot about love. So I'm probably the first one where he gives some of his experiences or encouragement towards as his son. You know, I mean, he can give some experiences and encouragement towards his daughter. Did you want to say something?
Yes, before I forget. Also, it's so good to have a father in your life as far as a woman from a daughter perspective, because he has told me many times, don't mess with this dude. As a man, I already know they're going to be a waste of time. I already know what they're after. You already have that. I mean, a mom can tell you, no, I don't know. I don't feel right, my spirit about this guy. But they're a woman too. They might not.
Hey, what's up, America?
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
you know, and it does show you the difference of a father being in the family and things like that. So I wanted to just show that part because I think fatherhood and family is all important and things like that. So let's see. William, you got something to say? Some other things real quick?
Oh, sure.
And,
Yeah, it is vitally important to have both parents in the family. And I think simply because of these two reasons. How can a woman teach a man how to become a man? She
That's
has
right.
no experience of being a man, not one day in her life, and vice versa for the man with the young lady. You know, I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, you know, which my youngest daughter just in her first year of college at UNCG, you know, and I'm constantly talking to her about how to protect herself, you know, because I date my daughter still when she's around. I open the doors for her. I do the same thing for my wife. I take her out to eat, and now she even take me out to eat. So, you know, it's about showing her how to be responsible, because she made the mistake of meeting a young man in her senior year of high school and carrying that over into her college, which caused her to drop out in her first semester. But I got her down where I live down here in Baton Rouge. She got her head together, got her head on right, got responsible, and been on track perfectly since then.
Wow.
Amen.
You know, I wanted to say something about what Tundra said, you know, that was so powerful. And, you know, she said that Vert shared his vision with her, and she understood that her role was to help support him in that vision. See, what we have today is people get together with 2 visions, right? The word for 2 is D-I, die. Die means 2. And when you get 2 visions, you have the vision, and the vision equals divorce, right? There should be 1 vision in that house.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
That's good. You know, that's a great point, because, you know, when Tundra actually said that, it was actually reciprocated. And a lot of people don't know, you know, it's like due benevolence. So the vision that I had, whatever things like she's a businesswoman and everything. I was like, baby, whatever you do, I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna endorse it. I'm gonna put you out there. So it's like a mutual, like you said, Timothy, it goes both ways. It's like a mutual respect. And I just want to say this to the guys that would watch this, you gotta have tools. I think that Georgette, somebody just put a comment in the comment thing, brought a great point about the love language. And I think I mentioned that, I don't know, was she on in the beginning about my wife's love language. I know her love language. I got it. I was like, wow, I'm so glad I got it. But I just want to share this with the men. And I think somebody love language is the key. The men out there, we just come out of NFL, and then we're going into the USFL. They back on now. And I just want to share something with the men out there who are maybe single, who are married. You got to make time out for your wife. You're going to have to make time. The person that you're courting, you got to make time out with it. And I just want to share this with the men. You got the tools to communicate. A lot of men, they don't realize, and I was telling Tanya this, it was revealed to me, Holy Spirit revealed this to me. A man, he might have his boys over in the man cave, or he planning through the week. Okay, I'm gonna have 5 guys or 10 guys over in my man cave. You're gonna have chips and dips, you're gonna have your brewskis, you're gonna have all this kind of stuff. So it takes planning to do all that kind of stuff, right? So when the game is on, the guys are watching the game. So to the men out there who are, you wonder why you might be having problems in your bedroom. Your wife is kind of holding back, because we'll hold back when they not feel like they're appreciated and they're loved. Men want respect, women want love. So to the men out there, if you're not getting any nookie like you want, who are married, you're not getting nookie. Look at how you're honoring your wife, because she's looking at you. You take time to plan. You planning all week. You calling your homeboys, your road dog. Okay, you went out and bought the food. It took time out. It took money to go out and buy the chips and the dip and the drinks and all this kind of stuff. And now the game is on. Y'all watch the game. You don't want to be disturbed. So to the men out there, this came to me. I said, baby, if a lot of men would look at this and go back and say, wow, you communicated. Now, if you use them same tools, rub your wife's feet, do the things that you're doing now. Some of the problems that a lot of men who are having certain problems, they wouldn't have those problems because they're honoring their wives and they're letting you. And this is another just quick. I'm just going to insert this real quick. God first, and then my wife is second.
That's right.
Job, the career,
right.
All this stuff don't come. God is first, then my wife comes second. Not the NFL, because guess what? I'm not married to any guy in the NFL, any guy in the NBA, or any other sports. I don't take them guys home. Guess what? I'm home with my wife. This is a woman that I'm speaking with. So a lot of guys, they gotta be able to realize, okay, why is my wife acting stuck up? Why we keep having these little nicky-nacky arguments and different things like that? There's no romance. The bed is being cold. We're not eating dinner together. Me and my wife got a saying: love is intentional. We eat together. We eat together. Unless I'm gonna be home late, late. We always eat together. We go out together. We do things together, and we make love intentional. So, I just want to just share something. You got to be intentional out there. You got to be intentional.
And to piggyback off what he was saying about being women, we can't assume that a man should know our love language. Because I just want to put that in there. I want to insert that. That a lot of times women assume that a man should know me. He should get to know me. But I mean, we communicate. I'm like, well, I love you. He knows I love touch. That's one of my love languages. Yes. But I told him that, and he see that, because what I love, I do for him. So that's one of the things that, the communication got to go both ways. It can't be all the man trying to figure the woman out. The woman has to speak up as well.
That's good.
No, that's funny. Hold on. Look at how Vert looking at Tundra. He's still gleaming eyed. I love it. He can't wait. He's like, hey, I love you. That's what's up, though. And honestly, and I like that. The thing is, though, guys, and we got to go to reality of what's happening in our community as well.
Yep.
This is great, but at the same time, there's a disconnect between black men and black women. Period. All right.
Mm.
We need to go into that. We need to find out what has happened. You know, we as a race, we're the least married. Period. We got to know that.
Yep.
But I got something here, and it's basically what happened to marriage. Why are we the least married? And here's the key. Did you know from 1890 to 1960, blacks were married twice as much as whites? Then it flipped.
Wow.
Did you hear the dates? I said 1890 to 1960. What happened in 1960? The beginning? No, actually, slavery was the beginning of the separation. In 1960, late 60s, welfare kicked in. Number 2 separation of the black family. From that, see, so look at it. Until 1890, all the way to 1960, we were getting married twice as much as everybody.
Wow.
In 1960, when they brought an opportunity, an option to say yes to your husband or no, yes to your man or no for money or not, those things flipped and changed. 1960. So we have to understand that we've been being separated, period, from the time we almost were born. If you think about our race, from the time from slavery on to the onset, we've been always being separated and depicted against one another, whether it's light skin, dark skin, period. So I don't want to get off here and not look at what's factual and real in us, because we, as black men and black women, need to really check ourselves. And what happened is we lost respect for one another. We have.
Yeah.
And guys, I don't like to bring this ugly, but this is why I started to speak up, because
it's real.
It's ugly. When I started seeing, well, I saw women talking about men. You always have seen that. But when men start talking about women, it's no getting back together. And every year, guys, and I'm gonna get with you, Chad, every year we get further apart, because whether it's money, emasculation, this, that, or the other, it's happening. And we need to catch it and see that it's a duping. We've been duped, and we need to see that. Go ahead, Tim.
You know what, Sean? Thanks for bringing in facts, because, we got to look at the facts, and we got to look at reality. Perceptions are perceptions, and reality is reality. Both are important, but we got to know the difference. And, one of the things when I talk, because I do relationship coaching as well, we don't understand the purpose of marriage, right? Most people get married for the benefits, the companionship, the love, the intimacy, the finances, and never understand the purpose. The purpose of marriage is from a word called covenant. And that word covenant is an agreement made between two parties to carry out the terms agreed upon. Covenant, basically, long story short, covenant is to help eliminate weaknesses. That's the purpose of a covenant, right? And so we've got to begin to teach why, because you hear people say, I'm gonna marry him, I'm gonna marry her because I love him. Well, we got to eradicate some of the bad information that's been perpetuated to our people, right? That's one. The other thing, Sean, is the division. You talk about it all the time. We have to come together. There's so many devices. Welfare was a division maker. We have these different programs, politics, religion, all of these affiliations. They divide us. And the more we become divided, the weaker we become as a people, right? I'll share this and then I'll turn the mic over. When it comes to a marriage, because individuals need to understand how to be self-sufficient. There is no such thing as independent. That is a flawed concept. You cannot live in this earth realm being independent. We need other people, period. So when somebody says that they are independent, you have to look at that mindset and say, wait a minute, I'm dealing with a different mindset, and look at what you're dealing with. We can be self-sufficient. We can't be independent. If you take your car to an auto mechanic, you're not independent. If you go to the grocery store, you're not independent. There's other people involved. So there's 5 basic needs of a man and a woman. Every relationship, Sean, is needs-based. I don't care if it's professional or personal. A relationship will end when someone's need is not getting met.
That's true.
There's 5 basic needs that are inherent in the male model and the female model of the species called mankind. The male, number 1 need, honor and respect. Number 2, sexual fulfillment. Number 3, an attractive mate. Not that she has to look like a prima donna all the time, but dress up for her man. Number 4, recreational companionship. And number 5, domestic support. Those, now there may be other needs on top of that, but these are the 5 basic needs that people need to understand.
Say it again, Tim. Say that again, brother.
Number 1, 5 basic needs of the male model, the man, that's inherent, that we were created, that's inborn in us, that we need. Number 1 is honor and respect. Most people think it's sex. No, a brother will leave a woman that has good sex for a woman who treats him like a king.
That's right.
Honor and respect. Honor and respect. Number 2, sexual fulfillment. That is not a want. That is a need. A man was created with the need to sow seed. He gonna do that. Number 3 is attractive mate. Just dress up for him sometime, baby. I just look good for you. I just want to dress up for you, right? Number 4, recreational companionship. That means that whatever that man is into, if he's into shooting pool or watching football, sometime ask him about that. I was married for 10 years. My wife never came to see me play basketball. Never.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and number 5 is domestic support. A man is created for provision, protection, and guidance. Yeah, I know how to fold clothes. I know how to iron clothes and wash dishes and clean, but that's not where I want to be. I want to be out there making it happen, right? So now let's talk about the 5 needs of a woman. The 5 needs, and you get these people who, out of hurt and disappointment, they create something that's not true. But the number 1 need of the female model of man is security. A woman needs to know that this man can protect her and provide for her.
That's it.
Number 2 is love and affection. That's not sex. Right? Love and affection is different from sex for a woman. Number 3 is honesty. A woman can handle some stuff that a man don't think she can handle. But if she hears it from the street, it's a whole nother story. Right? Number 4 is honest communication. She wants to know, because a woman is an incubator. Whatever you give her, she will multiply. You give her a seed, she'll give you a baby. You give her some groceries, she'll make you a meal. You give her a house, she'll turn it into a home. You give her some problems, she'll give you hell. She's an incubator, right?
Hey, hold up.
He nailed it.
And number 5 for the female model is family commitment. She needs to know that this man is committed to her and their family. Any 2 people, Sean, who can get together, and I saw somebody that made a commitment, Gwendolyn, she says commitment. Any 2 people that can commit to those, meeting those 5 basic needs, they got a good shot.
Yeah.
Right.
If I may interject now, let me talk to you about, let me speak about why these things are not prevalent in our society, especially in our segment of society. The reason why it's not prevalent is because the same thing I talked about yesterday in my church, which is called Black history. There's an underlying word about Black history that we must understand. And this is the thing that drives us and pushes so many wedges and fences and walls between us, called racism. Racism and the systematic racism has caused us to have these mindsets, have caused these issues. The reason why we can't accomplish these things on a larger scale. And it's important that we deal with that, because if we want our children to have a chance and our grandchildren to have a chance, this has got to be dealt with. It must be dealt with, because it's you talking about racism, you talking about a system that's not of God. It's definitely not of God. So everything I know has got to start and end with God. We got to understand that we dealing with an enemy that don't want to see you married, don't want your marriage to survive. Trust me, there are pitfalls and things out there that is against that. We can talk about all of how we want it, but until we get some unity, we will not be able to cultivate it as it should be cultivated.
Yeah,
you know, because I mean, everybody should have the opportunity to love it. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I ask guys everywhere I go. I ask them, what do you think your God-given rights are? And it's a simple question, but it's a very complicated answer, because it's a lot to consider when you're talking about your God-given rights. Your God-given rights to what? To you, or to you and your family? All that's got to be considered. So all those things that he was saying, like, if Tim, you tell me just those first 5 things again, give them to me one at a time, and I'm gonna tell you the effect of racism on.
Number 1, honor and respect for a man.
Honor and respect. If you live in a society that from top to bottom, from when you little, shows you no respect from within, from outside and within your race and as a whole, how you gonna have it in your family? Come on with the second. Come on with the second.
Sexual fulfillment.
Sexual fulfillment. Let me tell you something about sexual fulfillment. So sexual fulfillment really is biblically, when God gave Eve to Adam, he said to do 2 things. He said, be fruitful and multiply. So what he meant was, I believe when he said be fruitful, he meant to be fruitful of the spirit, which is the principles of God, which is one of them is passion. Have passion about what you do. So if you want to make love to your woman, do it with passion, because everything I've read about fornication talks about doing it with no passion, whether you married or not.
Yeah.
Whether you married or not. Give me the third one.
Number 3 is attractive mate.
Attractive mate. Yeah, that's that commercialized stuff. Because you keep looking for what's on the outside and miss what should be on the inside. Because everything precious in life that you look for in somebody, if you're looking for something really good in somebody, everything in life, you got to dig for it. When you go for gold, you got to dig through the earth. When you go for diamonds, you got to dig for earth. If you want oysters, you got to get in the ocean. You got to dig for it. So if you want something good out of somebody, attractive, let it go from the inside out, because beauty's on the skin deep, but ugly is to the bone.
Sean,
give me the third.
What?
Give me the next one. Give me the next one.
Well, it's good stuff here, baby.
Hey, man, hold on. We going on 1 hour and 85 minutes.
I'll be done. Give me the next one.
No, he just started. Go ahead, Tim. He on the roll. Let's go, baby.
Number four is recreational companionship.
Recreational companionship. That's just companionship. I've been down here in Louisiana, man, with nobody's family, but me and my wife. Well, me and my wife is my family, and then some of her family. So there have been times when I feel like I'm by myself. Let me tell you what God did with me. God told me, I told him, I said, God, I'm down here by myself. He said, I ain't never left you. I've never left you. And I couldn't disagree with that. I couldn't disagree. Then I said, God, I sure would like to have somebody. I need somebody with me. God said, am I not enough?
Wow.
And he's enough. He's enough. So if he can't be enough for me, then it ain't gonna be nobody else gonna be able to do better than that. Okay. Who gonna do for me what God do for me? So I gotta be at peace with myself to have any chance of having something reputable and something decent with somebody else.
Okay.
So I got to learn the principles of God and share that part of me with somebody else before I can really call to want a companion. I got to learn how to be a companion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Number
is that
5,
the last one? One more.
Number 5 is domestic support.
Domestic support. Well, we have to understand. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just gonna say it right out the gate. We have to understand, especially as men, that women have the economic opportunity that we don't have no more, because that's that's one of those residuals of racism. They flip the whole family upside down, the black family upside down and inside out. So for you to deny that, I'm gonna tell you right now, will make absolutely no sense. You will be denying the reality of what is. It's just that way. Most women are out in the workforce, they doing things. So I had a guy I talked to, and he was talking about, she was like, my man ain't got no job, and I'm doing all the work. I said, well, then the man need to stay home, take care of the kids. See, because the family got to stay intact, and children need 24-hour supervision. If you don't know nothing, you don't know nothing. But you can't, and sometimes some people think it takes a 2 household. but sometimes you might have to lower your standard and let one parent stay there with the family. I never allowed my children to go to daycare because I'm gonna tell you what I know they would have lost. They would have lost their individuality. They would have lost me the opportunity to teach them their moral standard that they need for each individual one. Each kid is something different, and I had to deal with them on a different level. So in those particular years, child psychologists say that a child's personality is developed when they're 6 years old. So that's during the time when most people send them to daycare. All they learn in daycare is how to be a number. Do this, do that, do the other. They don't get to chance to learn why they need to do it. That's a parent's responsibility.
That's right.
So I never allowed my children to go to daycare for that simple reason. I stayed there. I worked late night when my wife worked in early. I did the things that I needed to do. That's it.
Real quick, Brother Will, that's bro, y'all on fire. I'm loving this. But I gotta say something to everybody that's watching. Listen, guys, I know we still going, and it's really good, and there's some good messaging coming. Forward this on your page. Share it on your page. Let more people see it. We got 20, 19. Man, forget that. We need to have 150 people starting to watch these things. All right, we saying some things that y'all be asking
150,000.
Hey, let's go. I mean,
I ain't thinking small.
Hey, man, let's go. If we were on here cussing and calling each other all kind of names, it'll be 1 million people watching.
Right.
So we ain't doing that.
And
But
here's
we need to start bringing positive messages and actually supporting it. So forward this out. Let somebody get some of this knowledge, because these brothers are spitting fire and gems all day. And the sister Tundra. All right.
Hey, Sean, one of the things that's going to really help us, and I'm so glad that you look, you know, I continue to give you a shout out because I understand. You know, Sean told me the other day, he said, man, I should have called you at 3 o'clock in the morning when I first got started. Yeah. I understand, right? But we've got to start doing this consistently. I don't care if we don't do it, but once a month, we got to let people know, do you know what the most successful restaurant is on the planet? McDonald's, right? McDonald's. Why? They have almost the worst food for human consumption on the planet, but they're the most successful because they are consistent. You can buy a Big Mac in New York, fly to LA, get a Big Mac, fly to Japan, get a Big Mac, put them together, and they're the same. So these messages, these meetings, these communications, Amen. We've got to be consistent with them. And, I don't have to be the only guest, Sean. I can be a bystander because I'm still learning. I am still learning. And I just love the chemistry that we have, in this meeting today. It's off the chain. I'm telling you. And we can help people understand, discover. That's my whole program. Free yourself from yourself, because I did more harm to me than anybody else could ever do. I discovered my purpose. When I discovered that purpose, I have been on fire ever since. Yeah. A man, what somebody told me? I'll share this. One of my relatives said to me, he said, man, because I had tried the dating sites thing, and so many people playing games. I didn't have, I don't have time for that foolishness. He said, man, you're not going to meet the woman for you on no dating site. I said, why? He said, man, because the woman for you is doing the same thing you're doing. She's building herself. She's building her business. You'll meet the woman that's the right woman for you on accident.
Hey,
in the grocery store.
Yeah. That is right. When you're looking, it's just like a job. It's just like, hold up. It's so funny, man. It's just like a job. Is that Mark saying something? Mark? Oh, okay. Hold on. Whoever's going to say something, hold tight. It's just like a job. When you don't have a job, don't nobody want to hire you. When you have a job, everybody want to hire you. When you don't have no girlfriend or man, don't nobody want you. I mean, don't nobody want you. It's like you got a stench on you, like, But when you got somebody, everybody wants you,
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a man's responsibility, though, to find a woman. So you have to do it kind of like a crab on the beach. A crab on the beach, man, he may have to turn over 300 rocks to eat today, but he going to turn over 300 rocks.
That's right.
Until he find what he's supposed to get. So, if you seeking, man, seek, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. We supposed to seek.
Seek,
They don't.
hold
They don't.
on, not
They shouldn't
talk,
seek
man,
it.
talk. Seek, man, seek.
There you go.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Hey, one thing, and this what you will, and it's like this, man. Whatever happened to holy matrimony?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Remember,
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, when we all got married in church or whatever the situation was, it said in holy matrimony. How many matrimonies are actually formed holy anymore?
Well,
It's
in racism, they say the first thing that they beat out of you is your religion and your ways. So it ain't necessarily got to be a physical beat. We taking mental beatings today. We taking spiritual beatings today because we're not going to the source for ourselves. Like I say, if we get back to just that basic thing of asking the real questions, what are your God-given rights? We'll stop giving out God-given rights to people who ain't our God.
Yeah.
Period.
I would like to add something to that. I think that, now, we mentioned earlier, Tanja and I, when the Lord brought us together, we were intentional about a lot of things. And I told her to those who has watched this show, love doesn't have no color. You can marry whoever you want to marry. But, my thing always been to marry a Black woman because, and I'm going to say this, I'm getting ready to be more transparent because me and my wife in our house, we're very, very transparent. And I told Tonga that I wanted to have a Black woman. I wanted to marry, and that no other race. I wanted a Black woman is the reason why, because I know how our women have been treated since almost since slavery, how Black women have been treated. So that's number one, why I wanted to have a Black woman. Number two, I see my mom physically. I saw like physical assaulted in my home as a little boy. I can go back 1 to 2 years old, and I can go back and like I'm looking at it today. So I seen my mom physically abused. I seen her emotionally abused. I seen her psychologically abused. I saw that in our home. So I'm not talking about somebody else's home. I'm not talking about no other race. I'm talking about in my own home. I'm telling you what I know. That was another reason why I wanted to have a Black woman. So Tandra and I, we intentional. We let people know, we spread love, we show love, but our desire is to, number one, because we are Black, we're people of color. So our mission, number one, is to Black people. Just like Christ, he came to the Jews first, then he went to the Gentiles. So our goal first and foremost, and we don't apologize about it, is to our own people first. Now, Sean, you brought a great point. You brought out, you asked a great question, and Tom and I talk about we talk about this a lot. One of my favorite characters on TV is James from Good Times. Didn't have the best education. Society would beat him down every time he went out to get a job. What his wife did every time he came home, she built him up. She encouraged him. She let him know that there was nothing out there that he couldn't accomplish. I love that a strong family, strong man, strong woman, strong kids. It's just something about that show when it came to who his character was. This man was a lion. So I just want to just share with y'all. And then the other thing was I grew up without a father. So what I did was I intentional to all the young cats out there, to all the guys out there. We can't blame everybody for all our ears. I went out there. I grew up without a father. I was 26. My dad died. I think I was 24. I was 20-some years old, wanting my dad in my life. And then I had to finally let it go. And I said that was his loss. But my thing that I'm trying to say was I put positive men in my life. Single men, married men who are older than me to mentor me. We as men, as Black men, we don't like to be mentored. We don't like somebody to tell us nothing. We don't want to come under somebody's tutelage. So that's one of our problems as Black men. We don't want the mentorship like Timothy just said. I want to be taught. I realize I've been through 2 divorces. I don't know everything. We got books. We got an amazing library. My wife and I has an amazing library. I got people that I listen to. I'm talking about seeking wise counsel, not any counsel. But if it's wise counsel, I'm going to listen. Now, I'm going to say this real quick, Sean, because I don't want to take a lot of the time. when I went through my first divorce, God told me to follow people home. Preachers, people on TV, Hollywood. He said, people look good on the outside. But he said, follow them home and live with them for a while. That's the reality show. Follow them. When I got divorced the second time, remember now I said I started 2 churches. So both of my wives, ex-wives rather, we were in the ministry. This particular time I said, God, I'm not looking for no wife in the church. So to those out there, my wife didn't come out. I didn't meet her in the church. We met on Juneteenth in Centennial Olympic Park. So stop trying to look for your wife in the church, men, because you're not going to find it. Oftentimes there are women. Stop trying to. You're looking in the wrong place. God can send your spouse anywhere. So the other thing I just like to say real quick that is that with Tandra and I, our goal is to. The other thing I was going to say was I asked God to send me a woman who was in the church and in ministry. I'm a minister. I don't tell a lot of people I'm a minister. I'm an ordained minister. This particular time, I didn't look for a woman who was in ministry. I wanted a wife. She didn't have to quote a whole lot of scripture. She didn't have to do a whole lot of Bible stuff. I wasn't looking for, I had that. I was looking for somebody who was going to come. What'd you say, baby? Yeah, religious. I was looking for somebody who, as Timothy was saying earlier, compatibility. That's all. I didn't want all that religious jargon and all that kind of stuff. I was looking for somebody who was going to bring companionship, who was going to bring compatibility, and we can do a lot of things outside the church. When we're out the church, we don't have to talk about the Bible and all this kind of stuff like that. When we out and about, it's just she and I, we enjoying each other and we enjoying life. It's not about all this other stuff. And sometimes we as a people, and because you know, I know there's a lot of spiritual people on here, and I'm sorry, I apologize. I've been divorced twice. I keep saying that. It's more divorces in the church than in the world. It's 51% in the church, is not 49% in the world. So, I'm a minister, and I've been divorced 2 times as a minister. But I will say this: we have to make sure when we're courting and when we're looking for somebody, we got to make sure we're able to deal with the natural and we have to deal with the spiritual. So if we're doing worldly stuff, what I mean by worldly stuff, we're going out, we're going to the park, we're going to have a good time. Have a good time. Don't be so way up here that you can't deal with earthly stuff. And I think the church has done the people a disservice. So we can't blame everybody for our ills. As a black man, I don't blame my not having a father. I eliminate. I don't have a race card. I don't have a black card. I don't have not having the father card. I look at myself in the mirror every morning, and you know who? If I fail, I'm gonna blame myself. And if I succeed, I'm gonna blame myself. I'm not gonna blame nobody for the things that I can control. Now, there's some things outside sometimes that we can control that we cannot control. Okay, that's okay, but I think sometimes we have to make sure we find, like, y'all are men that I'm gonna submit myself to and receive mentorship. But a lot of men, I talk to brothers all the time. Nobody can't tell them nothing. Okay, fine, but it's going. So guess what? You jacked up. You ain't ready for marriage. You gonna have a jacked up marriage, or you courting somebody. You domestic violence. I talk to guys all the time with women all the time with domestic violence cases. So that's what I'm saying. We have to make sure we get a William, we get a Sean, we get a Timothy, we get a Marcus, we get a somebody who's we're gonna be held accountable to.
Absolutely.
Hey, hold on, William. Your background noise is sliding through.
No, it's no background noise here.
Okay. When I push music,
Okay.
it's somewhere, but okay, that's fine. That's good. Go ahead, guys. I'm ready.
So I wanna talk about a couple of things that were brought up. First, I want to talk about what Will mentioned: racism. Racism is far beyond color. There is racism within our own race. Racism is birthed from a sectarian type of spirit That's a spirit of distinction. You know, when we get in, I'm a Baptist, or I'm a Methodist, or I'm a Democrat, or I'm a Republican, or I am this kind of, I'm affiliate. Those are all forms of racism. So a lot of times nowadays, it's not coming from the outside. It's inflicted internally, and that's why these conversations are so important. So we can look. Let's face it. There's a certain way we have to go about calling out certain things, right? So we want to be respectful. We don't want to call out people. We don't judge people, but we can judge behavior. Right. We can judge behavior. And some of the stuff that people are doing don't make no sense. It's foolishness, and they're not teaching people right. Like you said, Bert, the divorce rate is higher in the church. And there's instructions right in the very Bible that they say that they love. Ephesians 5, chapter 5, verse 21 through 33 tells you exactly how to operate in this institution called marriage. The instructions are right there. Then, Sean, I want to talk about what you mentioned, holy matrimony. Let me tell you something. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, be ye holy as I am holy. And people don't understand what that means. It has nothing to do with no robe or no collar turned backwards or no big hat, none of that stuff. Let me tell you what the word holy, that word holy is translated from the same word that means integrated. Integrated. It's the same word as integrity. It's the root word for integrity. What holy matrimony means is this person whole? Is this person thoughts, words, and action one? Being holy means one, or holy matrimony. Now, these two people are going to become one. And what we have today, why we don't have that, Sean, is because, you know, people live different lives. You know, social media has allowed people to live a totally different, be somebody that's why, you know, when we were growing up, you know, these super characters like Batman and Robin, they were appealing to a lot of people. You know why? Because they were two people. And it's okay. It's okay to be two people. You know, Batman was Bruce Wayne. Superman was Clark Kent. So he's two people, so I can be two people. But we got to get back to being holy, Sean. That's a great point, my brother. Yes, we got to get back to that.
Now, gentlemen and ma'am, we're going to probably close this off at an hour and a half.
Okay. Yeah.
Meatloaf and
he got that meatloaf. Look, I'm on my way, Doc.
No, homemade mashed potatoes, brothers. Not the other stuff. But anyway, no, honestly, guys, I would like you all to finish with a last word. And shout out to Mark. Mark, man, we got love for you, brother. I don't know what was happening with the sound and near the end in the end of the day, but we're gonna do this again. I think I think you guys have been awesome, man. And I want to let you guys finish off saying how to get in touch with you guys, what platform you're on, things like that, so we can kind of, you know, get more people over to where you guys are, because you guys have been excellent. I'm sure they want to know how to be able to reach you again. So we're going to start with, Mr. Vert and Miss Tondra.
All right, you want to say something, baby?
I'll let you go first. This is really your show.
All right,
this is all our show, and we were very good being here because it actually made some of the ladies feel a little bit less, you know, feel better, you know, to have the representation. That's what I heard on these comments.
Truly enjoyed this live, being here and being the support. Definitely have gotten a lot out of, you know, everybody's responses here. You know, and overall life is a balance, you know. I love this. I just love.
And I'm gonna let you tell them where you can find us at, since you tell them where you can find us at on social media. Give them the information.
Okay. Well, right now we're building a page together, but you can find him with Labert. It's LABERT Forrest, and that's with 2 R's, FORREST. And I'm Tundra, TUNDRA Forrest. And So we're
Next
on.
time I'll have that on here to
Right.
put on the screen. That was on me, guys.
Oh no, it's cool. Yeah, y'all didn't know I was going to invite her, so it was like a surprise. So and
Hey,
y'all just check it out. We got something called "Love Is Sacred" Tour 2023. So y'all just, we got a lot of things coming down the pipe this year.
all right. We're gonna go with Mr. Will. Hold on 1 second, Will. Let me get your solo spot. And also, Will, let me thank you, brother. You probably sent about 60 or so people over to speak up today, and I really do appreciate that, man. On the real tip,
Well, I mean, one thing I can say, I'm pretty easy to reach. It's just as William Ruffin Facebook, or you can reach me at Will Ruffin 56 at yahoo.com. I do a lot of work, man, and I'm gonna tell you, everything starts and ends with me on the spiritual level, because I know I exist in three parts. I exist in the mental and a physical and a spiritual being. That's the type of being I am. And my thing is that we gotta look at everything. You can't say something, or to me, my thing is we gotta look at it holistically. If you don't look at things holistically, you might be missing the most important part to help you get past and get to your next level, because we all trying to get to the same destination. And it's vitally important that we do this work and keep this conversation going.
Brother, I'm glad that you had a chance to get on and slide in and get that computer and phone working or whatever you got going over there. We really did appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate the love you've been showing. Talk, my man Tim, let's go.
Sean, first of all, thank you again. I can't thank you enough, man, for this platform and putting this together, and you and I working together to make this happen. I want to thank, Levert and Tandra for what they shared, and of course Will and Mark. Mark had some technical difficulties, but I could do this all night, man, because I'm telling you, this thing here, and I saw a couple comments talking about this show is awesome. It's been awesome for me, and I've been in it, right? And, you can find me at talkmantalk.com. I have all of the social media platforms, YouTube. If you go to my website, you can find out what I'm about, what I do. My book is there. You can even learn a little bit about my book. But what I would leave is, we have to stop being led by our problems. We have to follow our dreams and be governed by, the principles that would allow us to activate our potential to fulfill our purpose. And so, Sean, we'll get together backstage and we'll decide when we'll do this next show, but we got to do it again, man.
We most definitely gonna do it again. Hold on, it's making me do something like this. Hold up. On the next episode of Speak Up, we'll have a second show talking about marriage, manhood, and family. But next, I want to make sure I say goodbye to all my new friends. And for those of you who have joined Speak Up, thank you. Hold on. Hey, hold on. I'm silly, man. Sometimes I'm serious, but I'm silly. It's all. Hey, man. Awesome show, brothers and sisters.
Oh yeah.
Awesome show. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a hand. And guys, no, we really are going to do this within the next 30 days, if not more. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to hear from a lot of people. And hey, look, I'm sure, if we ready to do it next Sunday or another day, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, it might be better. And we'll get this going. Guys, hey, bring more men in. Time to bring more women in. I mean, honestly, if we can have really good conversations and find out how to get back to the basics like Tim was talking about, back to love, back to respect, but we have to earn it. And we have to also understand that we don't have to be against each other. We don't have to be in competition, because it's not like that. In the end of the day, men want to feel appreciated. Women want to feel loved and secure, right? And there's a whole lot of other aspects of that. But men want to feel appreciated. I know so many brothers that are married that just don't feel appreciated. And when that is the case, and you got a million options out here at the end of your hand, you can lose that person. So we need to start paying attention to who we have, and if we cherish them, pay attention to them, right?
Mm.
But on that note,
Peace out.
I usually let the smoke go out, but no, honestly, guys, I can't even do y'all like that. Hold on, maybe I can. But hey, for real, guys. Any other words? Any last words?
Thank you.
If
Thank
not,
you.
I want to say real quick that for
go ahead, brother.
Bert and his wife, this is my thing with my house and my house with me and my wife. I tell my wife all the time, baby, I'm the head of this house, but I can't do much without my neck. I need you to turn. I need you to help me turn so I can see what's going on. And plus, you bring all the, without your connection, me connected to you, you can't get the information from my body I need to make sure everything is all right. I might be the head, but I can't do nothing without my neck.
That's right.
Hey, now see, it's brothers that really love y'all women. What's up? Stop acting like we ain't got no love for y'all. Stop it.
We got to support. See, like what y'all was saying, men need to be respected, but what we really need is support. We need to be encouraged. You know, we need the same things from y'all that y'all need from us. You know, we just need it maybe a little bit different, but we both need, and it's enough for everybody to eat. That's what I love.
Hey, and we misunderstood. I think we are misunderstanding each other. I think we got a lot of hurt and pain, and we're misunderstanding each other. And that love language thing, hey guys, listen, and on that love language, I love the love language book. I read it twice. The thing is about it is, you think you know that person. You think you know how to love them. They don't think like you. So if you buy a gift for somebody that's mad at you, and they not a gift love language, they more words of affirmation or acts of service. Come on, guys. If you don't know that, you don't know how to love your mate.
What's the love language if she don't feel it in her spirit? Nothing.
Hey, ain't no language in there. Nothing. hey, nothing. Look, I'm hungry. Get off my podcast tonight. I love y'all, man. Hey,
love y'all too, man.
We're gonna be back. Everybody, keep in touch with me. Let's do this again very soon.
Peace.
Gotcha.
All right, y'all. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.
All right. Peace.